I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt rings.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm joined by a revolving Spencer Oliver.
I've got to tell you, right, so we're at the top of the BT Tower and the floor is actually revolving. It's freaking me out a little bit. I'm scared of heights, by the way, as well. And yeah, what a view, though. I mean, you decided to do it against a wall, but what a view over there.
I would have loved to, but as we tested out, we can't really see you when shooting out a window. We've only got basic cameras, sorry, mate.
I get it. So, Joe Joyce versus Zili Asang. Can't wait Saturday night, mate. That is going to be explosive. Stylistically, these two are going to go at it, man. I can't wait.
He's extremely confident, Jane.
He is. You know what? So he should be. You know, you think about his last fight against Filip Hrgović. Many people, including myself, felt he won that fight. He had Hrgović down. There was times when Hrgović actually turned his back and I thought, he's going to quit. And he didn't, and he hung it out, and Zhang tired a little bit towards the back stretch, but I still thought he'd done enough to win. So going off the back of that, you go, this is a serious job here for Joe Joyce, because like, he's a southpaw. Joyce hasn't boxed a southpaw for a long time. He's very heavy-handed, he's massive, and he doesn't like taking a backward step, nor does Joyce. It's a high risk, low reward fight really for Joe Joyce, because you know he's the WBO interim champion. So many moving parts at the moment in this heavyweight division, and we're hearing rumours about this Middle East. You know this thing that could be going on in the Middle East in December with Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk. Who knows? Let's see what happens with that. But what I'm saying is Joyce didn't have to take this fight, and he's taking it, and it's a serious fight.
He's been on some run, Joe Joyce. If you look at the list of names, yeah, there is a rematch clause. I've just spoken to Team Zhang about that, and they've said there's a rematch clause. And Joe Joyce's situation, as you mentioned there, if the Saudi Arabia thing comes off in December, it's going to leave him in the dark a little bit, because he's the last out of the rotation system, out of the mandatories. And if you have the two semi-finals and then a final, you're looking at like midway next year till Joe gets a shot.
Absolutely. And listen, I spoke to Joyce. I interviewed him actually on Tuesday night and spoke to him about this situation with Alexander Usyk now looking like he's going to be boxing Daniel Dubois. Obviously, Joe Joyce beat Dubois, and Dubois beat him to that title shot. I said, how frustrating was that for you? And he was like, you know what, I don't care. Just give me the best. I want to fight the best. I don't care what titles are on the line. You know, I'm a WBO interim champion. My time will come. But in between that, I want the best fights available. Hence why he chose Zhang. And like I say, it's like, you know, it's one of those fights where you look at him stylistically, you go, why would you do that, mate? Like, why would you want to take that fight? Because it is a high-risk fight, and you've got to respect Joe Joyce for that. Do you know what I like about Joe Joyce? He's pure, man. Like, pure, like, do you know what I mean? He's just one of those guys. It's like everything he says is so innocent. He's just like a breath of fresh air in the heavyweight division. He really is, and I love that whole attitude of, do you know what? It is who it is, and I'll fight who I've got to fight. Let's just bring it on. Love that.
Spencer, a lot of the talk before the Franklin fight for Joshua was activity. Eddie Hearn said the same thing. Get the win, get out in the summer, then fight in December. See, that's not the case anymore. The next fight will be in December. I'm guessing there's a reason to that in terms of Saudi Arabia, but from a activity point of view, is that the right decision?
No, I truly don't believe it is. You know, I think that Anthony Joshua's, you know, inactivity has played a part in his performances of recent times. You know, like those two losses to Alexander Usyk, he needed to be more active. You know, since then, to rebuild his confidence. That was the idea of going over to America, teaming up with Derek James to reinstall that confidence that was missing. And inactivity plays a big part of that, because he's got to have the confidence in his own ability. And he's only going to get that when he's more active. And, you know, he's built on it. He's had that win against Jermaine Franklin, a fight that many people expected him to get Franklin out there inside the distance. But Franklin proved a tricky customer, mate. He really was. He's better than people give him credit for. He's got those 12 rounds under his belt. Now, I thought Joshua would be going again in 8 to 12 weeks. We'd see him again there, and then we'd see him possibly out again. I thought we'd see him 2 or 3 more times this year. So the decision to box in December, you know, there's reasons behind it, obviously, which we all don't know about at the moment. Like I say, there's loads of rumours circulating at the moment about that situation that I've just mentioned, you know, to find out who's the best of the modern era, you know, getting those semi-final and final on out there in the Middle East, that takes time. But also, Joshua needed to be more active going into that, I think. You know, I think he could have done with another fight at least under his belt. But, you know, that will all come out soon, I suppose. But a very strange decision, I thought, to go again in December.
But I guess a counter to what you're saying there is if he fights in the summer and loses, that money from Saudi Arabia is gone in December. So
yeah, but I don't think that he would be thinking about fighting and losing. You know, it's all
his
about
management will, though.
Well, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. You know, but I just think that tells me what his management are not confident in his ability. Do you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that we're all talking about Joshua becoming a 3-time world heavyweight champion. Well, surely the management are confident in his build. Like, they could have brought in someone like Dillian White, would have been a perfect opponent. You know, just to keep that momentum going. Do you know what I mean? So
what if Dillian beats him? I think that's the point.
That's heavyweight boxing. You know what I mean? You got to go for that. So look, whatever's on the table for December, we'll find out soon enough. But I think it's a bad decision him not going before that, whatever the situation. Even if that is the situation out there in the Middle East with those 4 fighters that we said, you know, like, even if that is the situation, I still would have wanted Joshua to box again.
Right, okay. Well, if Simon Jordan is right, and I don't know where he's got his information from, do you know actually?
I don't know nothing.
Come off it.
I don't know nothing, mate. You know, let's see what.
You're just a fella they drag in Talk Sport just to do the rounds.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll just see what happens. But listen, there's rumours circulating, and you know that they come from pretty strong sources, I think. So I think it's a likelihood, it's a possibility that could be happening. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
If he goes into that fight against Deontay Wilder in December, who comes out on top on that one, Spencer?
That's a tough fight, mate. That really is a tough fight. Like I say, I would have liked to have said, I'm talking about situations, right? So I going off Anthony Joshua's last performance and Deontay Wilder's last performance against Helenius, you know, you go, Deontay Wilder's going to start favourite because Joshua looks like he's still in that rebuilding process. He's got to be confident in his own ability, and we're not seeing that just yet. Like, we need to see what's that rawness reinstalled in his style. You know, that willing to commit even more. Do you know what I mean? Willing to punch when the other guy's punching. Willing to put your shots together. That was still missing. We saw tiny glimpses of it against Franklin, but not enough. And going into a fight like Deontay Wilder, you have to be the finished article going into that. Otherwise, he's going to start underdog.
Sorry, Adam Morley, Joe Joyce's manager's lost in the BT Tower.
I can see that, mate. And we're sort of like slowly revolving around this whole reunion. Every time I look up, I see Joe Joyce there. Then I'm seeing someone else. Whoa. And now he's just taking our camera off, and I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what's going. That is Matt Rich of Frank Warren, but that was I'm really lost here.
I don't know what happened there. Anyway.
Okay, well, he's laughing, he's loving it. Well, maybe I'll see you in a revolving building in December in Saudi Arabia. Who knows?
Is that Matt's way of saying, look, the floor's moving? I don't know. What was that? Well, it did.
No, we are finished. I just said to Spencer, I might see you in a revolving building in December in Saudi Arabia.
You never know, mate. You never know.
Matt Rich will pop up.
He pops up everywhere, mate.
I'll leave it on that.
You to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,